Hi guys, so I thought I'd do a platform difference test surrounding, say, one graphics card and put it in several systems and see at stock what the differences are going to be, just going from platform to platform. So I've got more I can line up, but just on an Intel level, so far I'll be lining up a 4820K quad on a Rampage 4, so quad channel memory with some ADATA sticks in there, PSC based. I've got a Z97 that I've got. I'll put all the memory back to just JTX timings for the sake of doing these tests, I think. I've got the good old 770K Apex that I love over here, so we can do it with that one as well. I've lined up a 2700K on a nice platform down there. That'll be interesting to see how that performs against the others with PCI Express 2. This is Skylake, but every other chip's a K chip, so I'm not sure where I'll go with this, but I might do it just for argument's sake as a comparison as well. I've got the SoC Champion over here with 5820K on it. I've got some naked OEM sticks I can just put in there for basic to make that quad, or I can leave it at dual, you know. I've got a lot of other platforms too, so this might be several videos, but I thought I'd get it started anyway and try and keep it as few videos as possible, but it should be interesting. Hopefully going to show that you don't necessarily need to go to the newest and greatest stuff. I love keeping older stuff alive, as people know. So let's see how it cranks out. Okay, so I think I'll use a GTX 970 Gaming Extreme Gigabyte card. To keep the red team happy, I might use an R9 290 that I've got here. Well, by that time I might switch my mind and use the R9 Fury X, which I've disengaged from this machine at the moment. There's another one coming, so that kind of makes that easy. So there'll be one of those two AMD cards. I think I'll start on the NVIDIA first though to get some stats up. Okay, so one of the results is on a Z270 Apex with a 7700K in it, with just 2x4 gig of some naked Samsung memory, which ends up being EDI RAM. Now obviously clocks are going to differ between systems. I'll probably go back and even that out at some point, but just to do everything at stock at the moment, the superposition benchmark is 7639 and Firestrike at 10714 using the R9 290 non-reference version CU28 Asus card. And that's all that really needs to be said, except for the memories at 2133, JTX timings of 15, 15, 15. And that'll just be able to be used as a direct comparison platform to platform. Like I say, I might even the clocks out at some point. Okay, so this is with the GTX 970 on the Rampage 4 with 4-channel ADATA 4x2 sticks, just under 2000 frequency. I wasn't putting this one back to stock. I did, and it didn't want to work. HEDT platforms, quad channel being fiddly at the best of times. So I've just left it at, it's 24/7 overclocker. It does a bit more than this normally, but just sitting at 4.3s. The memory's at 1866 at CL9, so nothing over the top anyway. But it's probably an interesting comparison for the Apex, in a way. So we're at 8107 on superposition and 10452 on Firestrike. So this is the R9 290 Asus Direct CU2 on the Rampage 4 with the quad channel RAM, plugged in at the daily 4.3 as mentioned in the other video, but I don't know which one of these is going to be seen first. At just under 2000 megahertz on the RAM. So all at stock, the Super position benchmark came in at 7592 and fire strike at 9982. The GTX 970 on the Apex and 7700K. That's stock. And super position benchmark 8139. Fire strike at 10920. I thought I'd put the 970 into just a 3770 non-K-SKU build. It's a Asus P8 Z77 M2 Pro, I think. 2x8 gig of RAM. And so your clocks never went above. Let's have a look. Yeah, they sat steadily on just above 3.6, but it says they're maxed out at 3.8 or more. 8166 on super position and 10421 fire strike. Okay, so now we've got the R9 290 Asus Direct CU2 on a B250 platform with a Skylake i5 6500. 8 gigabytes of Team Group DDR4 3000 megahertz. It's a Hynix IC, so junk basically, but depending on how you view it, just for gaming and stuff, I suppose. Daily driver is fine. Now, there's your scores. So, super position at 7.5, 3D mark at 9.2. Obviously, we notice the difference with the threads. So, this being a quad core purely, no hyper threading, versus what we got on the despite the clocks for 7700K, and the other ones. Yeah, I mean, when I post these videos might not be in the same order, but basically I didn't start this way, so I suppose that's where we're going to notice the most difference. I dare say it'd be interesting. Yeah, I dare say a 2700K i7 is going to be faster, despite the difference in PCI Express, etc. So, yeah, we'll get there. So, okay, so the GTX 970 gigabyte Windforce Gaming Extreme on the 2700K Z68 configuration. So, a few people will be wondering, you know, how much is PCI Express buses and all that going to affect you, and the different architecture and all that sort of stuff. Well, not a great deal. So super position is 8000 and 3D mark fire strike at 9.8. So there's not a lot in it there. Considering how old the architecture is, really, it's doing pretty well. I'll just check, I didn't check it on the NIMS. So it's running at 1333999. Yeah. Boosted up to 3.9, but it wouldn't constantly have run at that. It would have been 3.6s, 3.7s, or whatever it is, I can't remember. But yeah, so you can see the score difference there anyway for yourselves. This is the GTX 1070 on the B250 now with the i5 6500. There we go. So it's doing about 500 more superposition than the Radeon, and 9800 there on the Fire Strike. So it's about 600 more or so difference between the cards on that platform. And I might make this the last one. I'm just going to string them together in the order I made them. Second last one. I'll do a summary. The R9 290 in there with the 2700K, and yeah, that platform we've seen before. So 7400 on superposition and 3D Mark 98661. So some interesting numbers at the end of the day. Have to have a bit of a look at it. Okay, so let's look at this here. Let's take the 970. Starting off with it being on the Apex board with the 770K, which runs higher clocks than most others here. The fire strike score was about 500 clear of any score below it as it went onto other boards at 10.920. The superposition score for the 970 barely changed across the platforms, to be fair. The B250 and i5 6500 had it down to 80.20, which is the lowest it was at, and highest was at 81.39 on the Apex with the 7700. So the superposition wasn't swayed much on both sides, to be fair. The R9 only had a variance of 76.39 to 74.34, and that was lower on the Z68 with the 7700K for the lowest score on the R9. Yes, there wasn't a lot of change across the board. The Apex, the 970, when it went down to, when it went to the Rampage and the P8Q77 actually was about the same. The Rampage and the P8Q77 with a 3770 non-K skew i7 in there were almost identical, and the Rampage is clocked at 4.3 with quad channel RAM. So that was quite interesting actually, because both scores, fire strike score was 10.452 to 10.4 10.04 10.421. So very minuscule. That one surprised me, and it wasn't a Z board, as I said on the video. I said P8Z77 to Q77. So the B250 took a bit of a hit with the i5 though. The lack of threads, evident fire strike with the physics. Oh, camera's going off angle. I'm too busy looking at other stuff that's important. Not having a picture of me because I'm all long haired and need a shave and all that at the moment. So I think you'd want to. So the lack of physics score on fire strike from a lack of threads there. Interestingly enough though, about the same as what the Z68 was with the 2700K. So on those limited non-real life benchmarks, you know, you could draw a small but inaccurate really conclusion that the i5 6500 and the i7 in the 2700K would be the same. There's probably a little bit more to it than that, but yeah, remember these clocks again. I mean, if I put the 2700K at 5 gig, I haven't seen if it'll get to that, but a lot of them will. I've got a 2600K that would. I could do that test. I reckon the scores wouldn't be that different from what it is on the 7700K and the Apex. Seriously. Which goes to show you, you're going to gain more from overclocking than you are from spending money on more hardware. You know what I mean? If you do a custom loop or just invest a bit of your time in learning and knowledge, you know, or asking some people, or not being, you know, shy to do so as well, you get more out of overclocking your system 9 times out of 10, and that's going to be on the computer. Then you overclock your graphics card as well. You know, like whether you can go out there and put on a forum that you've got a Sandy Bridge processor or you've got a Kaby Lake processor. Now, obviously, we're talking not without stepping into more cores again, which is more recent. But even there, graphically, I think your graphics scores, you'll find, you got less chance of bottlenecking, but you're not likely to bottleneck at a 7700K at hyper-thread and high clocks anyway. So take from this what you will. If it's nothing, so be it. Such is life.